Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another Hearthstone livestream. Today is Saturday, September 2, so the month has happened. The game is glitchy as all get out. Like, I got a Knights of the Frozen Throne pack, I guess, just out of randomness. Maybe because I entered something. Like, maybe this is from the Choose Your Team, but I thought I already gotten the pack from the Choose Your Team esport thing that they promote esport events via, if you follow Hearthstone's Twitter. I got it both in the Americas and the European account. Red Phoenix is online immediately saying hello, hello. And he said hello and it didn't trigger Nightbot, so I'm sure he's happy for that too. So yeah, all 5 of those cards apparently were dustable. And let's see, I guess I got 2 gold things for being level 15. So this gold card back, I can now disenchant for 100 because I don't want gold things. I guess that's the good news, is I got 2 gold card backs. I got the new card back. And we can set that. But the extra number of stars, and see, now I can disenchant this for 50 since I already have 2 drain souls. So these normally would only disenchant for 5. So now I have 50 extra gold, which is working me slowly towards what I could do. So Blood Knight's the new one. We'll make it our favorite and play with that. But I'm not super happy with just going from 15 to rank. Well, I was ranked 14 with 2 stars to now I'm at rank 20, so that just kind of means I have to play ranked now even more than I was hoping I was going to have to get on this. Red Phoenix asks, do I have a cold? No, I don't think I do. It's just insomnia struck, and that's why we're starting so late, as I just woke up, and it takes honestly about an hour for my voice to get warmed up, and yeah, so I just have morning voice, and it's like, you'd think a YouTube streamer wouldn't have these problems, but it's like singers also have to do all kinds of warming up, the exercises and things, and I didn't really do any of that. Here, I'll drink some water, maybe that'll help. But yeah, no, not a cold. Thank goodness for that. We have 3 daily quests here. Play 30 minions that cost 2 or less. We can do that. Playing ranked. Play Hunter 50 class cards. Play Battlecry 30 class cards. And also play ranked. So, well, I kind of feel like all my ranked play is going to really just evolve around silent play, and is going to demand that I play more and more off screen. I guess this one time we'll try it. We're starting at rank 20. We were at 14.5 stars. I was hoping to stay at 14.5 stars. So does that mean I have to get up to rank I don't know, like, do I have to get up to rank 5 to fall back down to rank 20? Do you never get can you just absolutely never get to rank 20 when you start? It would be incredibly annoying, honestly, if every month to stay up and ranked you just have to start at 20 and keep playing and keep playing and complain. If that's the way this works, and somebody in the chat probably could tell me if that's the way this works, then I'm never going to put in the amount of effort it would take to get there. You can see I have a 41 game to 41 game ratio on this deck, this Murloc's deck, to get to rank 20. I never in any previous month would have played 82 games on any one deck. No way. Nowhere close. Barely played 10 games. Maybe 20 games per deck. So it's just demanding so much of your time that you don't even, it doesn't even seem like you get up ranked because of you just get up ranked because you play more, not because you play better. Now, if you do play good, it does only take 1 or 2 wins for these early levels, because of the bonus stars. But that's not an exponential growth either, where if you get 5 wins in a row, you're automatically to rank 10. If you get 5 wins in a row, you're probably closer to rank, I would say, 19.
You wish to
No, not 19, but 15. Red Phoenix says, I don't know, but I'll remind you to ask more people if more people join. Yeah, either I just subscribe to Disguised Toast, or he has decided to stop streaming on Twitch as much, because I thought he was streaming on Twitch. And maybe I'm just totally wrong about that, but he's streaming right now, so shout out to sort of my competition there. But I've noticed he's been streaming a lot on YouTube, so maybe something's new has happened. I know Twitch has been having a lot of trouble staying up lately, and one of the news things that I wrote down yesterday is Twitch is going to add extensions into it where the audience can click on specific things and interact with you, which I'm sure will be amazingly annoying. Let's see. Yeah, so so yeah, it's a craziness about streaming too, and recording is so many times where you're just not physically or mentally prepared. It's not like working at like a retail store or a restaurant where you can show up and do your work and just kind of half succeed at it and still get by. Streaming is a performance art, and because of that, you really have to always be on the ball, always be prepared, or just not bother. Let's see. This would do 6 alone. 6, 11 plus another 6, which would be 17. If I do this. I suppose we could just kind of go through the news here. There isn't a ton of news today, and I don't know how long we want to go, really. Startingly, this is the other way insomnia can happen, is the general idea here. Like, normally, the last stream I got up early, or I stayed up really, really late, and because of that, like, we had an earlier stream and that brought in a couple new people who probably would never have seen my streams. Now it's just going later, and going later probably isn't going to bring in any new people. Also, it's Labor Day weekend in the United States, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people aren't watching because of that. It's also just a weekend, and that seems to bring less people to watch Hearthstone, at least from my perspective, which might be very, very flawed because I'm dealing with very small numbers, a very small sample size of people that watch my channel. And of course the Houston flooding might be affecting some things. It turns out that Houston is a pretty large infrastructure area as far as some IT networking things, so it wouldn't be surprised if YouTube might have been slightly affected by that, but I haven't seen any real evidence of that. And see, I'm still at 30. How many of these can I kill? Not as many as I would like. Roll the finger. Cross your fingers. Forward swipe right when you needed it. More Murlocs. And see, this will give 3 times 5 is 15. If I drew another battle, Bloodlust, I win. Let's start with the news. It's hard to cover the news and talk and actually try to win, of course. There's a fan team that's making a remake of Tomb Raider 2 in Unreal Engine 4. They released a demo. It looks really good, and anytime there's a fan remake like this, you probably should grab it before it disappears, because there is a heavy chance it will disappear. I don't see them remaking and re-releasing the original Tomb Raider games. It would be nice, a lot of people would be happy with it, but they're just too focused on continuing the series, and the reboot of the series is where they want to keep their attention. There's some inherent gameplay flaws. Wow, we managed to play a board clear. That would really suck if it weren't for this. Stealth Murlocs.
Job's done.
Okay, that sucks. Discover a secret. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna lose here. Let's see. Secret. Noble sacrifice. Play. Red Phoenix says he'll be right back. Okay. In 30 minutes. I guess that's right back. Nintendo, the next piece of news, like, yeah, the Tomb Raider reboots in Unreal Engine 4 look great, but we need a lot more work there. And if it's all gonna just be a fan project, you just know it's not gonna make it all the way to the end. You really can't trust the fan projects. See, and I only started with like 2 stars on rank 20. Also, that rather sucks. Well, at the very least, we did make some progress towards the goals, and that's all I really am working towards, I suppose. Now I'm down to 49%. I'm approaching 100 games on this, so every winner victory is going to change the percentage by 1 percentage point, and after you're past 100, it'll obviously change the percentage less and less. Nintendo, though, was ordered to pay $10 million to iLife Tech, and iLife Tech makes medical monitoring equipment for the elderly and babies to see if they're moving in hospital beds or they're just their beds in general. So it's motion sensing technology that they had a patent on. So I wouldn't really call them just a patent troll. Some people might try to say that's the case, but in this case, I feel like it was very strange that that Nintendo didn't just pay a license in the first place for this. Maybe they are a patent troll and they were asking for a ridiculous amount of money, but they won in a Texas court, which probably won't be a news story that gets reported very often because they've changed the laws and you can no longer just shop for the most favorable court you can possibly find, and which is a small county in Texas that probably doesn't understand patents law, but the Nintendo has lost in this court, and they've been ordered to pay $10 million to iLife Tech for patent infringement over the motion tracking technology that was used in the Wii and the Wii U. I assume the motion tracking technology in the Wii handles and those things is what they mean, because I don't believe there actually was any motion tracking technology inside the actual consoles. Here's a much better example of this deck. This is gonna win. Potentially in the next turn even. If I can give these guys Wind Fury or +3 attack. So roughly $10 million is roughly 25 cents per every Wii and Wii unit sold. And again, I am kind of assuming that when they say units sold, they mean the console, the handles themselves, because you could have bought the handles, the Wiimotes separately. I think they were asking closer to $5 per unit sold, and they were asking for $125 million, so it's not like they got the maximum that they were asking for, or more, but it's still a major blow to Nintendo, and it could really be, and this is mostly just a conspiracy thought, it could be a very good explanation of what is going on with the SNES Classic and the NES Classic. If they literally can't use the connectors to make Wiimotes anymore, because that would just cause them to have to pay more patent infringements, which almost, I didn't see any news on this point, but almost certainly that is the case, that there's going to be some kind of injunction saying you cannot make a Wiimote with motion tracking technology, so you effectively can't make a Wiimote. They probably had a nice amount of connectors to repair things with or make more Wiimotes with. And so maybe that's why they started using those connectors on the NES and the Super NES Classic. Now, it would be rather silly that if that was the only reason if that literally was the only reason that they made the NES Classic and Super NES Classic. There's still a lot of other reasons, but it would explain why it has those connectors. And again, that's just my conspiracy theory expanding, where before I thought, yeah, they must have a lot of those, but I didn't know why. Now here's a reason why. If this lawsuit's been going on for 3 or 4 years or longer, and they knew we can't make Wiimotes anymore, and frankly they weren't planning on making Wiimotes anymore, it's slightly surprising that the Switch doesn't just have a Wiimote connector somewhere on it. It is a smaller device that would be kind of difficult to squeeze something like that in there. It is also slightly surprising that the Wiimote switches slide on up and down and don't just plug into something like a USB-C plug. That would make a lot more sense, is if in the act of sliding it down you aligned it perfectly to a USB-C connector on the inside. But that's not the case. I already talked about Twitch adding extensions. That's going to irritate people, but it will make the fans very happy. So I imagine it's going to be 50-50. Some people who are big into fan interactions are going to love that. Some people who are just trying to win and play a game are going to hate it and not use it, and things are going to eventually just balance out. A PS Vita game called Bad Apple Wars was delayed to October 13th in North America. As far as I can recall, this is the first I've even heard of this game, so that's just kind of a statement on Japanese games coming to the West, as that they're under advertised and they're always late. I did hear a more general anecdotal comments talking about how there's just a ton of paperwork and that's needed to be done to accomplish anything in Japan. And maybe that's part of the reason why everything is always late, is just people are always doing paperwork and always making it take longer than it should. Just a lot of bureaucracy. The story I heard specifically is that if you needed to get a new cell phone plan, you would have to start a new cell phone contract, which you could do in the United States in just a couple hours by going to the store. In Japan, you have to go to a branch. They have to talk to their branch manager. He has to talk to his manager. They all have to send paperwork back and forth, and you can expect it to be approved, if it is approved, in a week. Fallout New Vegas mod Project Brazil has been renamed to New California. It's supposed to come out this year. It's been in development, however, since 2009, so you're talking a mod that is 8 years into development. That's pretty crazy. I've got this game in the bag. Let's not talk about that quite yet. We'll save that for the end. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition for mobile phones has been announced. It seems like it's mostly just a remake of Final Fantasy 15 or parts of Final Fantasy 15. But with chibi, lower demanding graphics than what you would have to do for a console game. So it plays on a mobile with this chibi art style. I don't know if the story changes or if anything else like that changes or if it's a completely different thing. There's many different ways you could do something like that, and like I think inherently they're all bad ideas because Final Fantasy 15 hasn't been out long enough. If it had been if this was more of a case of Final Fantasy 15 being Final Fantasy 12 or something, one of the really older ones, then it would make a lot more sense to re-release the game, do a comedic spin on it, really have something new to offer. But instead, this is just kind of offering the thing that was just released in a poorer quality graphics. And chibi is funny, but you have to write the story and you have to kind of imply that too. And I don't think they did that work. I'm guessing they may not have done that work. So, yeah, it seems like it might have been half done. Let's counter how many things we can do here. 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. Game over. There we go. Super Meat Boy Forever, the sequel to Super Meat Boy, has been announced for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, iOS, and Android. So, people who like to bang their head against the wall on an incredibly difficult game will now have more levels to do that on. Which is okay. Personally, I don't like that, and The End Is Nigh came out recently, and it was also kind of a spiritual successor to Super Meat Boy, as far as I could tell. Maybe there were some slight differences that just took it slightly in a different direction. It felt different when you controlled it. Needing and probably having to maintain consistent control schemes between sequels is probably a #1 priority for a game that is that demanding of a player to have actual skill. It's the opposite of games I generally want to play, which are give me story mode, make it easy. I don't want incredibly challenging things that I'm gonna blister my thumbs pressing buttons on anymore. There's a game called Vaporium, which is a steampunk old school dungeon crawler that's coming to PC on the 28th. It looks pretty good for what it is when you describe it as an old school dungeon crawler, but then it still is an old school dungeon crawler, which is problematic because that's not really a fun way to play a game. It wastes your time. It makes you go through repetitive corridors, fighting repetitive enemies, and most dungeon crawlers are 50-50 about whether you ever can escape or whether it ever even ends or whether you care if it ends. So maybe it will succeed for a few nostalgic fans, but I imagine it won't work too well for a lot of people. Well, his devolve suddenly ruined my Murlocs. I should have played this first. Misplay there. That was a misplay. Well. Oh well. It probably won't prove itself to be terribly bad. A sequel, I believe the third game in the series of No More Heroes, called Travis Strikes Again No More Heroes, which is a weird way to name your game, because No More Heroes was the first part of it, if I'm recalling correctly. Let's see. What can I do? Can't do anything. This 5.5 is going to prove to be problematic if I'm not careful. It's been announced as a Switch exclusive in 2018. Right now, one of the PAXs is going on, and a lot of games are getting announced because of that. It's going to be an Unreal Engine 4, which is interesting, particularly for its artistic style, because you wouldn't really immediately guess that that's the case. No More Heroes would be one of the few series, the slowly disappearing list of games that aren't on PC that I would like to see on PC. I would most definitely want to see those 3 games come to PC. They would play very well because of that, if they did, and they would sell pretty well. And kind of in the same way that Bayonetta 2 would sell very well if that came to PC. But it seems like Nintendo is the last video game company that actually still locks people into actual exclusives. And because of that, they're some of the least likely to come to PC games. Right, there's... So I'm gonna hope for poisonous here. Stealth until your next turn. Or taunt. I'm gonna go stealth till the next turn.
Job's done.
We'll see if this helps. See if this can win the day for us. The pathological, no, a game called Pathologic, a remake of the game Pathologic. This is going to be difficult. Let me start over. The Pathologic remake is now going to be called Pathologic 2 to avoid confusion over a previous re-release of Pathologic, which was called Pathologic Classic HD. This is the beginning. This is the absolute beginning of the remaster, remake, re-release naming madness that we're going to see a lot of as games make HD collections and then they make a 2K remaster editions. A lot of games were remastered and sold as HD, but they didn't really do anything or did very little. Now those same companies want to sell their games again a third time, and so they're making remasters on remasters on remasters on HD collections, on up conversions, and there's not enough words in the English language for this to make sense. And they've done a very odd thing here where the game that is the same game being remastered a second time is now just getting a number after it. We're going to eventually just have to have version numbers on things and just say this is version 2.0. We have somebody new in the chat named, I think, Jinser Faith. And he says, Mana Storm or Masal Storm. I think he meant to type in Mana Storm, but I don't think he quite did. Maelstrom. Maelstrom is what he says. Okay. Very little news left. It's not been a very busy week, even though PAX has been going on. The Kentucky Route Zero Act 5, the final act, and the entire game for Switch are going to come out early 2018. I've heard some talk of this game. It looks like it might be something I eventually get around to playing, but it's one of those games that suffers from being this episodic release that I hate. Like, I just don't want that in my life. Well, honest, I couldn't have frozen this guy, could I? Actually, I could have. I should have frozen this guy and made him kill it with the other. I played wrongly there. There's the former Sims head developer, and he worked for Linden Lab as the CEO. His name was Rod Hubble. He is now going to head Tiny Co Studio. Tiny Co Studio, if I believe, if I remember right, I'm gonna shoot in the dark and say that they're the creators of what is that game? Tiny Tower. I think that would make sense. So I don't know what value there really is in reporting that people from one company move to the other company. You have to extrapolate a lot of things. If somebody was really bad at running their EA Sims division, which arguably this guy might very possibly be terrible at running the Sims division, since the Sims has had a lot of trouble in the past decade or so, or 5 years at least. So like, will he go run TinyCo into the ground? Is that what I'm supposed to extrapolate, or maybe he'll do a better job? Red Phoenix says back. That was mean. What was mean? Something I did? Oh, Jinser Faith, come to the point. That was cringy. Be more descriptive. Are you talking about what I'm talking about, or like? Alright, well, let me stop Jinser Faith right here. If one of the rules doesn't say no cussing, it says be nice, so stop the MRFing right now, or I'm going to block you and report you. Like, I don't know if you're trying to be friendly and colloquially using the term or not, but it's not allowed in this stream. And you're irritating Red Phoenix too, so I'm seeing a long-term fan too not appreciating it. So 2 more pieces of news. It's been a very slow day. A game called Figment that kind of looks like Bastion is coming out September 22nd from the creators of Back to Bed and Chronology, which are kind of just cell phone games in my mind before they're actual console games. But this one looks a little bit... Back to Bed was a puzzle game with an isometric view. This is more of a fighting game with an isometric point of view. Very much like Bastion because the floor disappears and reappears. Chronology I never played, so... it might be that this company and Figment might be moving them towards making more mainstream, important, fun to play, interesting games. Of course, they're going to have to go from being more focused on making short, simple cell phone games into a longer PC console experience.
Greetings, friend.
And then the last bit of news is a real tragedy to have to report at all. One of the executive developers in Shadow War died of cancer, which in itself is a tragedy. But then WB has decided to make a $5 DLC to memorialize him that you have to pay for, where only $3.50 of that in some of the United States, about 46 of the United States. So sales will $3.50 of sales of that DLC in those 46 states will go to the family of the developer who died. And only if you buy it before December 21st, 2019. At which point I imagine the DLC will keep all of the profit for WB. And they very, very much misinterpreted how this was going to work. No sales out of the United States whatsoever are counted. The reason why it's only 46 of these states is because they were literally too lazy to do the paperwork that is required to file and do something like that in the other four states. And they're clearly too lazy to do the same paperwork for any other part of the world too. Total Biscuit, who also has cancer, spent 20 minutes talking about it, but the main gist is he suggests giving to a charity that WB should give to a charity instead. I would suggest that none of this should have happened at all. WB is being very, very sleazy here. It doesn't cost $1.50 to process DLC fees. And if you couldn't get somebody to make something, I mean, you really didn't even have to make anything. You could have just said, this piece of DLC is a donation. Alright, well, Chinser Faith is, let's see, report and block. Chinser Faith again not being nice and violating the rules 3 times. I gave him 2 extra strikes, just to be certain, and so now he's reported and blocked. Not that I think reporting does anything. So I would say nobody should buy Shadow of War, first of all, because that game in itself is sleazy, and it is money grubbing and greedy, and WB needs to be punished, and we need to honestly have an, in my opinion, my personal opinion, we need to have an active boycott of WB games until they just completely go out of business. Like, I don't want to see WB around in the next few years. I want to see all of their things sold to different companies that will do better with them and treat their companies better and treat their employees better. This is just insulting. This is as bad as when Walmart buys life insurance policies on its employees and then makes more money from their employees dying than they do from their employees actually helping them sell products, which is a literal thing they have done, and other companies do it too. And often, if you're getting free life insurance from your company, it's because the company themselves is also getting life insurance, which literally, this should be illegal. It is illegal in most countries that some random person who's not a friend or family member can buy a life insurance policy on you and profit from your death. So yeah, my recommendation, everybody, don't buy Shadow of War. Don't play it. It's gonna be a crappy game. They put so many microtransaction DLC crap in it. It's not gonna be good. And if you want to support this family, there is links out there that will directly support the family. But in the broader sense, supporting the family of one developer would probably do a little less good than donating to a reputable cancer research fund or just medical research fund in general. I don't have any particular suggestions at the time. I haven't done the research, but I would say go that route. Donate to save lives more than anything else, and just forget WB. And don't buy this DLC, and don't buy Shadow War, and maybe don't buy any of WB's other games. It's not like the other things they've made lately have been great. Remember, they made Batman, the latest Arkham game, that was a huge mess. Red Phoenix said a while ago, buy Gents of Faith, and I think that's probably more of an ironic buy because I banned him. Kevin Wu came on the chat. Hello, Kevin Wu. To defend me and say my deck is not terrible, which honestly I don't believe this is a terrible deck. This is the deck that got me to rank 14. It's running 49% win ratio right now. So if I can do better with the cards I can do, I haven't seen that, and I've been playing around more than ever before at looking at net decks and other things. I've also made some progress, but not finished, defeating the Lich King in every scenario. Let's see. Red Phoenix says, I feel like there's going to be another game crash. I don't know. Like, I haven't gotten that feeling because the difference between the 1983 game crash was the number of ways you could sell games and the number of video game companies that existed were way fewer. So Atari, like, which was one of the main things that caused the game crash by filling and flooding the market with garbage, was probably somewhere between 50 and 80% of the market. Kevin Wu, do you want to try Pirate Warrior? It works for me. I think I already won against the Lich King with Warrior, if that's what you mean. I think it's better than Murloc Shaman. Well, here's the thing there. Right now, I guess I'm just gonna have to say I'm not accepting new deck things because I'm trying to beat the Lich King. So I've painted myself into a corner. I'm following a guide that's telling me what decks to build to beat all of that, and I only have like one empty slot. I wish Hearthstone. I wish they gave us more slots to have more things. Pirate Warrior. Like, let me look at my decks and see if maybe I could delete something else. Because right now this is kind of the only ranked play to actually win at ranked play deck that I have, so having both of them would make more sense. So maybe I could get rid of my Paladin deck. It works great on the ladder. It's also just an incredible hassle trying to get it to actually, like, trying to get the things to actually copy over. It is also but yeah, Kevin Wu, go ahead and see if you can copy the code into the chat, and I'll see if I can import it. Last person that tried that, it didn't work, but I'll see if maybe we'll try it again. At the very least, I can put it in the Hearthstone deck tracker and save it for later. Like, yeah. See, let's just open up Hearthstone deck tracker here, import from deck code. See, it says no deck found in Hearthstone deck tracker, but the Hearthstone deck tracker does it differently than other things. And Kevin Wu, wait.
Well played.
Is there a reason why I should wait? Just hit this. I hope he doesn't hit something terrible. And he does.
There is little time.
There we go. That one should work. Yep. The codes are way too finicky. Way too finicky. On this. If it has the number signs in front of it, if it doesn't. And see, that still didn't work for Hearthstone Deck Tracker. Like, I have two different programs and they don't work, but I'll see if either one of those work in actual Hearthstone as soon as we're done here. Can't do any better than this.
Well played.
But worked for me in actual Hearthstone. Okay, so then hopefully, unless Hearthstone decides to be different for different people, which I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. I don't want to really get rid of Druid Helper. Secret Spells is a daily quest. Taunt 5+. We could get rid of that one. And that would work pretty well. Warrior is about playing weapons. A lot of these are still built around the idea of I need something that will kind of win, but will also kind of do daily quests. So I'm going to get rid of this one. There we go. And this one that's a hunter deck is... There we go. Let's see how we can do with Kevin Woo's. Let's see. Warrior, pirate. Let's see. I would need to spend 500 dust for Patches the Pirate, which I probably need to do, and 400 dust for this. So which of these two cards are the more important one to make? And frankly, I don't want to spend 400 dust on either one of these, so I've got to find a couple of replacement cards. You need Patches the Pirate no matter. Hydra is replaceable. Well, he is a legendary, but I can't get him for 1600 dust. And so Red Phoenix says, did you know some YouTubers which are big charge people to play their game? What's your view on that? I don't think that's a good offer by the YouTubers, just on the face of it, and people shouldn't pay. The deck won't work without patches. Well, then I guess that's the problem right there, is I can't. So thanks for your suggestion, Kevin Wu, but you're saying it straight up, the deck won't work without patches. I don't have 1600 dust. And that's so many decks. This is a perfect example of why things don't work out. Is 2.5 years of playing this game, and there's still just things that can't be played. So, yep, that's the problem, right there. And it's the legendaries that are missing. It's the legendaries and the epics. It's not some common card. If I needed just a common card that was only 40 dust to create, I'd create it in a second, but it just doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know why anybody in the world would want to do that. Like, that seems insane to pay YouTubers for that. Kevin Wu, are you going to send me another one? Alright, we'll play around. And this is a druid deck, and this is a pirate druid deck, which again you can replace Hydra with a second Direwolf Alpha. Alright, well, that much I can do, but this one also has patches, and it is patches important. Well, I just knocked him out. Oh, sorry. Forgot about patches. That's exactly what the deal is. Like, And what are they telling me to put in here? Put in the Lich King or put in Druid of the Claw? Let's see. Let's just look at see what this is all about. Red Phoenix says, and that is for indie games only. There's a slight distinction, I guess, that needs to be made between YouTubers that then just add a 1-drop for patches. There's certainly like a, let's see, how about this? That makes sense. Dim Skills came on the chat, said, I just started Hearthstone today. Have you gotten through the first tutorial games yet? Because if you want, I can help you in a few different ways at specific points in there. If you've done the first few games and haven't beaten all 9 of the characters, I can friend you, challenge you, and then concede to you on all 9 of the characters really quickly and unlock them. I can play the Druid Helper against you and help you get up levels pretty easily. But you have to get through that first part where you can actually friend people and do all that. Kevin Wu says, wait, Argent Squire is better than that 1-drop. Which one were we? It's Custom Druid. That's what we were doing. I didn't name it. Let's see. I just picked the one that was a pirate. I figured that would be the one you'd want. Dim Skills. Yeah. Yeah, if you get to the point where you can send me a friend request, Rydo, RYDO number 1423 through the add button here, we can certainly help the new players to a certain point at least. But it is time to break up this recording, so stay tuned if you're watching live. Otherwise, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening. Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another live stream of Hearthstone. Today is Saturday, September 2nd. We started a little late, but in all honesty, it's not going to require too much here to do. All I need to do is play 50 Hunter class cards, and in an interesting way, I think I can do that if I play this Hunter deck, which is a Hunter deck that was told that I looked up to beat the Lich King. We have a new person on the chat. He's brand new to Hearthstone. He's asking for my user. It's RYDO number 1423. The number is also in the description at the bottom. Tactic Torn wants to play. Well, sure, why not? And I'll go ahead. Tactic Torn has me on a standard thing, so let's try this new custom druid while we're going.
Malfurion versus Malfurion.
So this is a deck that Kevin Wu gave me to try and ranked play, and so I haven't played it. Let's see how it works. It's a pirate druid. Kevin Wu says, oh, we could switch to wild. YouTube, Red Phoenix says, YouTube is messed up it says this video has 1 view. YouTube is always messed up. I don't worry about it. You know, like, in all honesty, if I start worrying about YouTube, then I just become one of those YouTubers that's always talking about the adpocalypse, how I'm being demonetized, how the DMCA is happening, and I talk about that quite a lot already. But you know what? I just want to make good content. If I starve to death in the street 5 years from now because YouTube never pays me, at the very least I want my content that's still on YouTube to look good. It's a silly thing to say, but it's kind of how I feel. Like, I don't want to worry about YouTube being stupid that much. They are. We know. Everybody knows. I guess I could have used my hero power. Swap the attack and health of a minion. Can I get the vicious fledgling where I need him to be?
For the wild.
Give your minions +1/+1. What am I supposed to be doing here? Am I supposed to be buffing like the vicious fledgling, or just everybody? Or what's the strategy behind this, Kevin Wu? Kevin Wu's also playing basically the same deck, so over a large sample size he should beat me, particularly since he has quite a couple more cards than I do. Swap the attack and see, this just moves them back and forth. Right, it doesn't. It wouldn't make this an 8/8 and that a 2/2. That's something else. That's a different card. The swarm the board, says Kevin. Buff the board and play Hydra later in the game. That 8/8 minion, and refill your board with living mana. So it's kind of a rush deck. Alright. Poisonous, stealth until your next turn. We'll take that. And then we'll do this. And I guess I should just get rid of this guy that way. Well, the Hydra certainly has helped me win. Here. That's a lot of damage you've managed to take with the Hydra. But he's got a bunch of people on the board that buff. So if he could get Wind Fury and attack again, they would have done 4 more damage. Let's see. But all I need to do is get Wind Fury. This. Could have done stealth till the next turn. And this. Okay, that looks like that'll work. So let's go back and name that deck. So we know what it is. And then I wanted to show off just the... I wanted to do one Lich King thing here. Dim skills is either not at the point where he can friend me. So I'm gonna decline this for a second, Kevin, so I can hit done and name it. Actually, I'm gonna decline it so I can try to do this daily quest. I guess I can play him that way. So I prefer wild if you can play wild in general. If people want to send me friend requests, yeah, he hasn't sent me the other things. So dim skills is new. He probably doesn't even know how to friend people. It's not like the game makes it super easy. And this is the hunter deck that's supposed to help you defeat the Lich King, although it is a budget defeat the Lich King deck, and so you have to get really lucky. And when you're fighting the Lich King with the hunter, he does damage, like 2 damage for every minion in your deck, and so you take a bunch of damage, and he's at 30 armor, 30 health, and so you just have to use the start scavenging hyena and get really lucky. Pretty much have to have an alley cat to start with, and I also have a daily quest right now too, and you just kind of have weapons that spells that do damage. Lich King doesn't really play Doomsayer. Let's see. Deal 3 damage, 5 damage. Can I do this? Let's see if this works. Deal 1, summon a Mastiff. Nope, I don't have enough mana, so play tracking instead. I will take that. You kind of need to get lucky with at least one vicious fledgling. This probably isn't the greatest. Kevin Wu asks, why quick shot the Doomsayer? Because I can't count. Literally is the reason. I miscounted and thought that perhaps I could kill the Doomsayer if I was able to use both of these on the hunt cards and do damage, but I was 1 mana short. Trying to maintain characters on the board for scavenging hyena. And this deck is built around the turn 7 win, because on the Lich King, if you don't have a turn 7 win, you're not gonna win. He brings out the frozen souls and he becomes immune. Let's see. I guess I'll take this. Play this. Not really the best time to play this, but whatever. But at this point, turn 7 for the opponent, when beating the Lich King, I would have needed to gotten him down by 60 points. And you can see in this example, 17 points of damage. So I've tried many times, and I'm spending a lot of extra time trying to get the Lich King done, but now I've got 2 extra things I need to do. I need to play rank to try to get back up to rank 13. I didn't really feel like I was rewarded very well for getting rank 13. I got the card back. I got maybe 40 dust and 2 golden cards that then turned into some other dust. Let's see.
I can't do that. This beast will not be tamed.
Deal 3 damage. I'll deal 5 damage. And the hunter still has 3 levels to get up till it's level 60. And that did about 12. So it's going to take several attempts to play all of the hunter cards. But will I get the hunter cards done? See, I have hunter, paladin, warlock, mage, and priest to do. I'm up to 4 done.
Look at your hand, champion. Look at what you've become.
But
are we really so different?
there's really a lot of just resetting. Just come over here, restart over and over again.
Let the hunt begin.
You always go first so you don't have a coin.
Mercy on the likes of you.
And you kind of, every single card that does damage you need to put in here. Red Phoenix says I'm still here, by the way. Thank you.
Job done. Lonely hunter, strip away your little friends.
It would be really
What
nice
is left to oppose me?
to beat the Lich King right now on the first try, but it won't. I don't think it'll happen. So you immediately take 16 damage. He has 60 health effectively. And this is all around buffing Scavenging Hyena, getting Vicious Fledgling, adapting Scavenging Hyena so he has Wind Fury.
No card can forestall my inevitable triumph.
Let's see. And just random minion destroyed, control, attack. Gotta play so carefully.
Is inevitable, and
I would have liked this
no
guy to be
can
on the field,
express
get Wind
your
Fury.
shame.
I have 4 more turns to win. Let's see. This and tracking, summon the beast.
Job's done.
The dark path is my destiny.
Down the 10. Right. We can do this to adapt this to give it Wind Fury. We can play this and attack here and can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Attack here, attack here, in return. And see, he knows what you're trying to do, so he'll find a way to destroy you, certainly. 2 more turns. This kill command. Don't really even need this, but whatever. You want your hand to be empty when you play this, so you can draw another card.
The dark path is my destiny.
And this is a budget hunter deck, so if anybody knows of a better hunter deck, I'd be willing to try it. Because I'm not 100% budget free to play. I mean, I have slightly more cards than that. Could have used this card a while ago. And I got about halfway there. 7th turn happens, he plays Frostmourne, he attacks my face. Game over. We'll just see it. I want to see it play through anyways, just to make sure the cards I'm playing actually count to the daily quest. Of playing hunter cards.
Join me.
It was a PC Gamer article. I think you should be restarting more often. Yes, I do too, but I did not see a notification that said I played those hunter cards. Yeah, it didn't count. It didn't count any of the hunter cards. So, okay. Need pretty specific opener to win. Yep, that is certainly true. Wild hunter deck. I guess we'll play here. Trying to get up on ranked in wild doesn't really seem like something I'm gonna ever accomplish, but it will get me ranked wins if I actually win, and I would like to be just over with the 500 ranked wins for everything so that everything's gold and they never have any more gold. I bet by the time I get all 9 of my characters to gold with 500 ranked wins, they'll add something for 1,000 ranked wins that makes it platinum, just to keep the players playing. I'm not even sure this is particularly a good deck for real play. It's full of hunter cards, and I'm short on slots, so I don't want to destroy this deck just to go make a different deck. I'm playing against a mage. Almost certainly they're gonna just kill one of these things. Summon a random beast companion. I wish they would explain which cards those are. I think I have a general idea. Red Phoenix says my internet just crashed. Seems to happen a lot for Red Phoenix. Sorry about that. Want to play again after this game, says Kevin Wu? Sure. They were talking. I saw a video talking about how when the last time they had floods in Sandy, they replaced a lot of the copper network connections, the backbone of the network, with fiber optic, and that was in Sandy, so that was in like the United States East Coast, not Houston. But what has happened in the meantime is everybody's gone to fiber optics, and what will happen with fiber optics when they're touched by water is they'll grow mold, and the mold will actually just split the fiber optics apart and kind of ruin it. So I had one short again. Man, I need to learn the count before I play. So unlike Sandy, where the copper wire, they could take thermal imaging and see anywhere where the copper wire was shorting out because of water, because it was hotter. Fiber optics, there's really no way to do that. So what people are going to have to make a decision about, as far as the backbone in Houston and for all the major networking, is they're either going to have to decide to just completely abandon their facilities, or flip a coin and decide whether they want to gamble with fiber optics that are just going to go down. Red Phoenix says, I have a good computer but a terrible internet. That's pretty much how it always goes. I have a great computer but my internet's ruining it. That's exactly my situation too. Yeah, I saw a video of somebody doing a speed test in California, and they have much better internet. They had like 100 megabits down, but it was also a corporate internet too, and 70 megabits per second up, where I barely have 5 megabits per second up as an option. That would be one of the #1 things I would do if my channel paid for itself and I could afford it. I would definitely invest on trying to get better internet, and to the point where I'd probably have 2 internet service providers and see if I can get them to work together, or maybe just have one that is specifically built around well, this isn't going to do anything, so I'll just do that.
Job's done.
Red Phoenix says he's saving up for a Nintendo Switch and a 10 terabyte drive. Which should I get first? I'm not sure I'm a trustworthy source on spending money, but I would go with the 10 terabyte drive. The one that sounds more entertaining is probably always the wrong choice. In the end, Red Phoenix is for everybody's knowledge, he's programming his bot, which he's putting a lot of effort into. So when you calculate that he's spending many man hours putting work into something, and he needs a safe backup so he doesn't lose those many man hours, I would suspect if Red Phoenix imaginarily paid himself even minimum wage on the man hours he's put into his chatbot, he would probably see that it is worth a lot more than the value of a Switch. When you talk about the Nintendo Switch, I have a bit of a bias because Nintendo treats YouTubers badly. They claim to own one of my videos, which was the Ubisoft press conference, and that's not fair use. That's Nintendo of Japan that claimed that, and it's ridiculous. They treat all YouTubers badly and rip them off, and they don't value fair use at all. But so there's a little bit of bias there, but also the Nintendo Switch is just now starting to announce some interesting games. It's not quite to the point where you should buy it. If you know in your heart that you're going to eventually have a Switch, get it, I would say, 2 or 3 years from now, when you could get Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey very cheaply, and and whatever other games. There's the new Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, and which probably means the other No More Heroes games are coming out. There's Bayonetta that's going to come out for that. The Splatoon game is an online competitive game, but that audience is going to start dying if it hasn't already. And that's kind of the only game I would think that even has any reason to play it. You shouldn't get a Switch if you want to play Skyrim once again. You shouldn't get a Switch to play something like ARMS, which is probably a decent game, but it's not a system seller. The Switch really doesn't have any system sellers. Much kind of like WB, I'd kind of prefer if Nintendo just went out of business and their IP went to other companies. Imagine if Shigeru Miyamoto, the person who makes the Mario games, was working for Microsoft and he was making Mario games for the Xbox and the PC. Or more likely he would be working for Sony just because of an inherent bias there. It would be easier for Shigeru Miyamoto to move into the Sony Japanese office than the non-existent Microsoft Japanese office. So yeah, even at that, like if Mario games were on the PS4, the PlayStation would have a lot more going to it, and if it got to PC, that would be great. Let's not forget that Nintendo is doing very bad stewardship for Metroid. They don't really do the old school Metroid games that well. They don't do the Metroid Prime games that well.
By my frozen heart.
They haven't really done anything with Donkey Kong in a couple of decades. Kevin Wu asked,
Are you afraid?
I guess I could go on a longer rant against Nintendo, but there's a lot of bad things that they've done, or just poor handling of business that they've just aren't. It's easy to forgive and forget with Nintendo because there's a lot of nostalgia there that I had too and I've overcome. Kevin Wu asked how old I am. I'm not comfortable telling an exact age, but I'm old. I'm well out of high school and college age, so let's go ahead and squelch this character while he lets me play the last few cards. I'm older than you would think. So I'm not as old as the previous first generation of video games. So I didn't experience Atari or anything like that. I did experience the Nintendo Entertainment System. But I did the Nintendo Entertainment System. I sort of didn't do the Super NES. I've just managed to miss that one. Did the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the what else did I do? GameCube, Wii, and then Xbox 360, and then I missed Xbox One, and I missed the Sega Dreamcast and all the Sega systems because I was just obsessed with Nintendo. Although I did play on a few rare occasions Sega games and then all of that. Looking back, my opinion today is that I often, when I was younger, acted older than my age, and now that I'm older, I kind of am trying to act a little bit younger than my age in a weird way. Kevin Wu, I'll play. Send me a challenge when I'm not playing, and I'll play you, certainly. Unless I've managed to do all the daily quests. I'll still play you one time if I've even done the whole daily quest, but I still do want to go over to the European things. I also need to double check and make sure I haven't what did I need to double check? Yeah, I need to make sure there isn't a tavern brawl. Yeah, there really is a really long list of things Nintendo has done people have forgotten. Nintendo also majorly sold to kids and was sleazy about it.
I'm out of cards.
That's the little. Remember when Pokemon came out? It's like gotta catch 'em all kinds of toys and marketing. It was all Pokemon. Like half of a Toys R Us was full of Pokemon stuff, and that cost parents a lot of money that could afford it, and it probably alienated a lot of poor kids that couldn't afford those things. How many more? We still need 11. Red Phoenix says, I got a better job, so that means more money, less time to code my bot, and less time to watch your streams, but it will force me to sleep more. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. That sounds great. Like, the last thing I want people to do is suffer in their life to watch my channel. I want my channel to be an improvement to society, and streams stay up, so I'm not deleting them. If you come back 10 years from now and watch the streams if you want to, that's fine by me. I'll miss you, but that's alright. Getting a better job is always a risky thing, though. People tend to be optimists to a fault, and they don't save that money. And pretty much, in my experience, every single time I've gotten a new job, I've wanted to save more of that money because that job eventually ends. Like, there's two ways jobs can end. Either you die working it, or you don't work there anymore. Either because you retired, or because you quit, or you were fired. So I would heavily recommend anybody getting a new job to save as much as possible. I would say in Red Phoenix's case, he should get the hard drive. If you've got a new job and it means you have less time, then that's just more of an argument not to get a Switch, because you're just going to be disappointed in the fact that you don't have time to play it. But maybe there's other arguments, like the job is going to have you commute a lot, so you're going to be on a bus or a train, and that's going to give you extra time to play Switch. But getting a new job and spending a lot of money and not saving it is a mistake. It's kind of like when you buy a new house, people often will buy a bunch of furniture right when they get that new house, and then all of a sudden their air conditioner breaks and they can't afford to fix the air conditioner. Houses have expenses. New jobs often have unforeseen expenses. I have no idea why I did that. Why didn't I attack with that? I'm just talking. I'm talking and I'm not paying attention. That's why I did it. Maybe Red Phoenix will become a millionaire one day, and he'll send me a few $1,000s to show his support. Right now, there really is no way to support my channel. The best thing I can figure, if people want to support me, Don't I don't even know if I'm gonna enable super chat when I could. When I think you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and I'm barely at 200 now. I think the best way would be for people just to gift games on Steam to me. That would inherently reduce money I'm already spending every year and give me less of an excuse to not play games. That's kind of all there is, though. Like, eventually, if I have enough fans and if there's enough demand, I'd do like a Patreon or something. But mostly this is just free content, and it's just always going to be free content, except for the ad revenue, which is growing slowly, but not really any realistic amount. It's about $2 every rolling 7 days now, which is ridiculous. I need to get like 10,000 plus views on every single video I put out to get a realistic amount of income. Speaking of working, I'm working on the Halloween pre-recorded videos, and I have made that final determination. It felt like it was going to happen, but I've determined that I'm going to, at the end of October, stop doing my kids' my early 2 o'clock Central Time slot, which was kids games. After October and Costume Quest 2, I'm gonna stop that slot. Spending extra money on spending extra time on Hearthstone has taken a lot of time for me to record pre-recorded things, and also trying to get up in ranked has taken a lot of time, and also the fact is I've just been very lazy and unrealistic on how much time I can actually spend. So I've been way too ambitious, trying to do 5 episodes per weekday, and it needs to go down to 4. Also, I'm kind of low on kids games anyway, so I'm just gonna merge all of that. Red Phoenix says, "I promise to give you $1,000 if I become a millionaire." That may be legally binding if you say stuff like that, but I won't hold you to it. And then he says, "And how do you send? How much do you spend on games?" I think is his questions. Here's how much I spend on games. On average, every summer on a Steam sale, I spend around $300 on games, which is not really too off of what an average person might spend if they're buying a $60 game when it's brand new every 2 months. 60 times 6 months would be $360 a year. On top of that, I spend what is almost not worth even mentioning, somewhere between $4 and $10 on Humble Bundles, when there is a Humble Bundle that has a lot of games that I don't have in it, and I check the Humble Bundle each month. And that's kind of it. So right now that's how I'm doing it, but by doing it that way, I'm buying a lot of very cheap games on Steam and very old games on Steam and doing retrospectives. If I'm going to buy the brand new games, that's where the budget starts going up. I would estimate there's probably close to 16 brand new games that come out on an average year. 16 times 60 would be somewhere around, if I'm doing the math right, $960 a year. Yeah, I think that's it. Is there a Tavern Brawl? Yeah, I've already done the Tavern Brawl. Good. Everybody on the US, send me one more friend request if they want to play me, and then otherwise I'm going to move over to the European account. So yeah, 960 would be a probably close to accurate budget of money to spend per year. Now, if I was making $1,000 in ad revenue or some other kind of revenue on YouTube every month, that would be alright. It wouldn't be great for a budget, but it would be okay. But it is a major increase. And all of the money I'm spending now is certainly not from money I'm earning from the channel. It's just money I'm getting donated to me, basically. Kevin Wu asks, do I have another job? No. I can barely handle doing this one job. And if I did get another job, I imagine it would take up all of my time, and that would just be the end of my channel. And it would be a very awkward thing to try to put out a video and explain that. Like, I probably would get over ambitious again, knowing myself, and still try to do the Hearthstone live stream, and maybe not do the pre-recorded stuff since they're not really getting any views at all. Kevin Wu sent the same message twice. Says, "Oops, sorry, didn't mean to send that again." It's fine. If anything, it just helps my channel. Every message per minute tells YouTube that my videos are worth watching. Did you do bad in school? Why don't you have another job? Did I do bad in school? That's an interesting question. Did I do bad in school? Well, the teacher said I was bad a lot in school. I got in trouble a lot in school. I didn't do my homework a lot in school. But I knew what they were talking about, and I was practically a genius, and if I can toot my own horn there. What the issue is I probably could get a job, but it would definitely underutilize me and underpay me. Part of that is because in the United States, they require you to have an incredible amount of experience, an incredible amount of certifications and degrees and like masters, bachelors, PhDs and things, and they want you to be under this crippling debt from college. I went to college for a short period, and they were teaching me in the 101 classes things that I learned long ago and already knew. So it was very frustrating trying to go through a class that I had already knew everything in, and it just wasn't a very good learning experience because I wasn't learning anything new, and I was paying a very hefty privilege for that. And then also, they're very broad educational things where you're learning things like math, history, and English and all of that. And so there was a lot of things I just didn't care about. And so I really wasn't in the mood to stay in college and gather a bunch of debt. And so I ran the calculation in my head and said, you know what, this isn't worth it. It's not worth taking on that debt. And over the years, I have, in my opinion, been proven very right in the United States, because the people who were in very similar situations to me and did go through college and did get bachelor's degrees or more are actually in worse positions financially than what I'm in. I did something very weird that probably wouldn't have worked for most people, but most people in the United States, just to very overgeneralize, are in horrible, crippling debt, and they're in terrible, low-pay, minimum wage jobs. Unlike Europe, there's very little union support in the United States, and there's very little social help programs, and very little, and our education in the United States is not great, and employment's just terrible in general. So that's one problem. The other problem is people just aren't hiring. We're moving away from a world that needs workers. Everything's going to automation. And so instead of being programmed, I was going to be a computer programmer. That's what I wanted. I wanted to actually be a video game programmer. And instead of getting a job like that or something in IT, which I'm very suited and qualified for, I would be working in a grocery store or a fast food place or something like that. And that's the kind of jobs that are hiring where I live. And it's not particularly even worth the gas you put in your car and the effort you have to spend to wake yourself up and get there, particularly if you're suffering from insomnia. So it just wasn't worth it. And then I was in a weird position where I have a disabled family member that kind of needs me to be around and watch them. And so everything just kind of lined up where people said, you know what, just stay home and take care of them and don't try to do a job. I've had multiple jobs. None of them have felt great because they were always these underqualified jobs. There was also a scenario where I didn't start working. My parents didn't really ask me to start working when I was 14 or 16. Well, 16 is probably the right time that you should start working somewhere. So I was probably 18 before I had my first job, if not older. And that doesn't look good on the resume. When you have these, when you have a gap at the beginning of your resume, that's not very helpful to get a job. When you have gaps in between your resume, which I certainly do now, people immediately assume you were in prison during those times, which is a really stupid thing to assume, but that's how employers think, is if you cannot account for every single month being consistently employed, they just find a reason to throw you out. And so many people in the United States are trying to get jobs that it's so easy to throw people out for stupid reasons. And so companies aren't willing to give people chances. Companies aren't willing to give people businesses fair pay. There aren't that many jobs. Ideally, the United States needs to just adopt a universal basic income, which other countries are also experimenting with, and get away from the mentality that a good citizen is a working citizen and you only deserve to survive because you are working for some corporation. We need to, as a government, say, look, we want our citizens to be alive because they're human beings and they deserve to be alive, and we don't care whether corporations want to pay people extra money to do extra work. Eventually all the jobs are going to go away. So that's a really long explanation, I suppose, on why I don't have another job. There's no way, though, knowing how I suffer from insomnia and just how much energy I can expend in a day. There's no way I would run both. So if I did have to get another job, that's it for this channel. I probably wouldn't make any more videos. I probably wouldn't even make a video telling people I wasn't making any more videos. So it's one or the other. And right now I'm focusing on this. And I feel like this, as long as YouTube doesn't just delete my channel, will be something that is a long-lasting testament to doing something more interesting to me and better. To finish up here on the chat, I was working a fast food place. Now I have a real job, kind of. And ideally, good for you. Hopefully it works out. One of the things that I also have learned after working many jobs is I stayed in jobs that were very frustrating and bad environments, bad for my mental health, bad for my physical health, just not treating me right, not treating any of the employees right. I stayed in them out of a fear of being unemployed, and that didn't work well. Like, I should have quit a lot of the jobs I had at the first sight of trouble. Like, there was one job I took where people were warning me that it was a bad job before I even started working there. And I should have taken those warnings and just been like, oh, well, I'm not even going to bother to show up. Because they were right. And then Kevin Wu says, going to bed, good night. And Kevin Wu says, good luck in the future. Thank you, Kevin Wu. So I was kind of responding to his question in probably, and he had already gone to bed, but that's fine. Well, that's where I'm going to wrap up here. I know my life experiences are slightly interesting, and they are definitely different. That's what the intro on my channel with the path less traveled means to me, and why I chose that poem for that intro video is because I chose to do something I wanted to do, even if it wasn't going to immediately pay, instead of doing what most people do, which is just kind of beg for a job and get money and struggle under debt, which doesn't appeal to me. That's it for this recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening. Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another live stream of Hearthstone. So we're on the European account. I got a classic pack from the Tavern Brawl, and a Knights of the Frozen pack, which I think was from following Hearthstone on Twitter and choosing your champion between the US and Europe. That would explain why I got one for the US account and the European account and didn't get one for the Asian account. Or unless I log into the Asian account later and it turns out that we did. The month is over, which means for this account, this is the first new card back this account will ever have earned. And I have no extra cards at all in those two card packs. So that was new. That was new. This is gold. This is what I got for getting ranked 20, I believe. So I could disenchant it and try to make some more commons out of it. These two are new. That one's new. And these neutral cards are new. Good to know. Still a lot to do. But not as much as it used to be. Like, as far as solo adventures on the European account, we've done all of Karazhan, so I just, whenever I get around to it, need to do Karazhan on the the Asian account, and then I'll never get the Frozen Throne done, or at least not in a reasonable time. But I want to go to rank 20 again in ranked play. I need to play Druid cards and win 3 games with Shaman and Warlock. I could certainly probably use some help there. And we didn't do the card back. So, Blood Knight is the first card back we've won. And let's see. Let's start with Druid class cards. Useless custom Druid, 100% Druid class cards. No, but it's close enough. Close enough so I don't have to change anything. I'm at 700 gold right now, which let's play standard, I suppose. And this is where it's going to be really difficult, is playing with a brand new account on ranked at rank 23 is a lot more difficult. When Darian comes on the chat, what's your highest rank? My highest rank would be 13 standard, which I got last month, which was the first month where I really even tried to get ranked, and was, instead of just always focusing on getting daily quests done as quickly as possible. Now on the European and Asian accounts that are practically brand new, my highest rank has not been anything higher than 20. It's going to take a lot of extra effort though, because even though I got to rank 13 last month on standard play on the US account, it set me back to 20. So I'm going to have to just play offline and really focus and play a lot of my Murloc deck and maybe the new pirate deck there, so that I can get back up to rank 13. I was hoping what would happen, since I made it to rank 13, I would only get knocked down to rank 15, and then I could spend an entire month going from rank 15 to rank 10 or higher, and then the next month I wanted to go to rank that. But it doesn't seem like that's how it works, or at least it didn't work in that case. Red Phoenix says, I added session IDs to my bot, meaning you could have a conversation and talk about something else, then go back and pick it up right where it left you off. And the reason you can talk to it is because of Google API that I'm using. Interesting. Job's done. That's an interesting trade. Destroy the cleric to make him draw 2 cards. Probably not a good trade, but I think Red Phoenix is programming Skynet over there. He's gonna teach Skynet to talk all nice to people and keep them calm and docile while it shoots off the nukes and starts what is it in Terminator? Is it Demolition Day? No, T-Day. Red Phoenix says it seems smart, but it's really dumb. Yeah, that's how it would trick you, wouldn't it? It would seem like it was dumb, but it's not. I'm just joking, of course. I think there probably is going to become a lot of demand for chatbots of a sort, just artificial intelligence. We've had a lot of people talk in fantasy stories about artificial intelligence, but I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that in just everything, because with things like Alexa and Siri and OK Google and all of that, which I guess I said all of those things and triggered anybody's devices that are around there. I just think all devices are probably going to be voice activated and potentially connected to one big AI that runs your entire house and all your devices, and you're just going to have this butler character that this Jarvis like character from Iron Man that can have full conversations. But on top of that, particularly in the United States, but kind of around the world, there's a lot of need for an AI that can address the emotional needs of the elderly and the young. Like right now in kindergartens and elementary schools, it's as bad as 30 plus students to one teacher, and so the teacher cannot really focus and talk and listen to all of the students all of the time. If we had AI computers that could do that and like address the needs of those kids as quickly as possible, that'd be very, very helpful. Similarly, when people are elderly or in need of, or just elderly are a lot of times just left alone, but also if they're in the care of a nursing facility or something, they would greatly benefit with people talking. I've seen a lot of elderly people, and it is very standard that they just fall into watching TV and not having that human emotion that will probably be good for their brains and their emotions and possibly even their body if it gets them more active and moving. And there's just not a very large shortage of people that can care and that do care. Even just normal people. If you had a best friend AI that would always listen to your problems instead of just having to write it in a journal or make imaginary friends, which is what young kids often have to do. Like if you just had this AI and it was a real thing or real enough, it's not a human, certainly. A lot of people get pets for the same reason, but in getting pets you incur a lot of extra cost and effort that you have to spend. That's where the virtual pet phenomenon that came out a couple decades was very interesting, is you could have this virtual pet without having to have a backyard or deal any of that. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of uses I could see in the future that AIs come out. Red Phoenix said, I feel like I'm making Jarvis. I know when I programmed, or whenever I do get around to programming things, it is always half feeling like you're God creating Adam and Eve, and half feeling like you're a mad scientist creating Frankenstein for me. Particularly because whenever I'm programming anything, I'm usually making my insomnia worse and staying up way too late, and so my brain is barely functioning. And it is the best feeling I probably have ever felt in my life, to succeed and have something actually work. And it's not the worst feeling. It's often quite intriguing to fail too, because then the challenge goes on. Doing something nobody else has ever done is very appealing to me, I probably would have enjoyed programming a lot if that had been a career path that I ever actually got onto. However, particularly video game programming, that's not really the case. You end up doing very tedious things and working very long hours for bad pay and bad healthcare and such. It's much better to be a programmer in anything besides video games. You'll get paid better and treated better. There's a lot of things too when I was younger that I was programming things that had already been done, and a lot of times I programmed things that were done later a lot better too. Like, because the people that were teaching me programming didn't really have experience of actually working in programming. They were just teaching out of a book, and most educational books are pretty awful. They're not accurate, and they don't have up-to-date information. I programmed like Pong and C++, where if I had been trained to program it in the assembler, it would have run a lot better and faster. They didn't ever bother to teach anybody assembler in my school. Or if they had programmed Pong in something like the Unreal Engine 4 that's out now, it would be very easy and very quick. Of course, when I was in school, Unreal Engine didn't even exist. There's been major improvements to make programming video games much more doable by a single person. When I was programming, the idea of a single person being able to make a good video game like Ori and the Blind Forest, or let's see, yeah, I think Ori and the Blind Forest was the game that was made by one person. That would have never happened when I was programming. Now it can. Red Phoenix, for example, like, he probably would not be capable of making a chatbot if he wasn't using advanced programmable interfaces that were made by other people. I doubt anybody would have the capability or even the processing power to make a chatbot that was just running as an exe file that was programmed in C++ or C# even, and had like very minimal standards and very minimal libraries and headers files, which are bits of code other people have programmed. How many cards did that play that were Druid? Not too bad. One, maybe two more games, and we'll have that daily quest done. Just saving up gold now. Maybe we could get back to arena play once they fix the arena. Arena play would make a lot of sense on these new accounts, but it certainly does. Right now, while it's messed up, it doesn't make sense. And my main goal is to get 3,500 gold in case there's a single player expansion that ever comes out. And after that point, more and more I'm going to just start neglecting the European and Asian accounts. I keep saying that, but it's going to take a while till I actually get to that point.
I must protect the wild.
Yeah, if Red Phoenix is still watching, it is 9:10 p.m. and he's got this new job. So make sure you stop watching and go to sleep when you need to. I don't want somebody. That first day at work is always, for me, a anxiety creating thing anyways, and I always had trouble sleeping even more than normal the day before I started working, or even at new jobs in general. I had one job that worked around my sleep schedule quite well because I started at like 10 p.m. and ended at 6 a.m. Had the whole run of the building. I was the only person there. did what would have been a really cool sounding job, had a really cool title, but in all actuality it was pretty dumb. Just sitting around doing almost nothing, watching TV. And still, I found a major problem with that job is that for the 5 minutes that somebody came in at the beginning and the end of my shift, they would find some reason to be rude to me. And it was just a very, very hostile environment, not just to me, but to everybody. It's like I don't know who was doing what during the day to encourage this attitude, but it was just really, really hostile work environment. Actual hostile. Like, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna put up with this. So, if the employees had been nicer, I would have probably stayed there for a long time. Split 5. That's not gonna work. I just wasted all of that, didn't I? Red Phoenix says, I'm trying to move away from the Google API because if my bot becomes successful, it would legally be Google's. Well, I would certainly look into the legality of it at the beginning before you even start, because they might try to make a claim that you made the bot using their technology in the first place. There's this thing called white room reconstruction where you're just trying to do something similar to your competitor, but you're doing it in a completely isolated way, and you're not looking at any of the code whatsoever that your competitor did. And that is done and documented, but big companies do this to fight any potential claim of ownership. That's what the whole Android thing is sort of built around, is that Android uses the same API call elements. So say there's a function that says like get sum, that gets the sum of like two numbers. It uses those same commands, and Sun Microsystems claims they own a copyright on that, and it's still back and forth in the courts whether you can own a copyright on those specific commands instead of the actual code that those commands execute. And there's a lot of weirdness in the legal department there. Red Phoenix says, hey, my job starts Tuesday. Okay, well, I would still say get used to going to sleep at a regular time. Try to do that as quickly as possible. But, of course, it's always Red Phoenix's own decision. I don't think just inherently using an API would put Google on the great legal grounds to claim full ownership of your code. What they could do, more likely, is destroy your access to the API and then make your bot not work. And inherently, that's kind of the thing about any programming or any project whatsoever, is if you trust another company not to screw you over, you don't know companies very well, because they will.
Drink with me, friend.
I would imagine Google, on the other hand, is probably working on its own chatbots using like giant supercomputer black box artificial intelligence things, and they've got so many different people saying okay, good, okay Google, and then getting responses that way. And right now, okay Google just tries to give you web searches or respond correctly, but eventually I imagine the OK Google setup will be a 100% interactive thing. Red Phoenix says true, but I'm not 100% sure. That's inherently the thing about programmers too, is we look at the code and we don't look at the legality of it until it's too late. It's like you should look at the legality of it first before you even put one line of code in there. It's like, let me be one of those people that actually reads all the licenses. That is something that Linux in particular is heavily focused on, is like, is this an OpenGL or GNU public license, GPL license, or is this a Libre license, or can this be used for commercial use? Can this be used with accreditation? There's all kinds of licenses that there's a website it can help you use for the GNU public license, and Linux people are very focused on that to make sure that it can be used for free. Sometimes it can't be used for commercial use. Red Phoenix says so kill all ties. Kill's the wrong word. Yeah, disconnect all ties and any connections, like any dependencies, as it were. Don't, if you can, make your creation 100% your creation. As a YouTuber who criticizes video games, I am terrible at this. Ideally, much more successful YouTubers could make content without relying on other people's creations. I am certainly not one of those people, though.
I don't have enough mana.
So, like, ideally, it would be nice if I could turn my channel into 100% just me talking, and people would be willing to watch it, and I would just not talk about video games at all. I don't know what I would be talking about then, but if video games weren't a part of my channel, I would have no content IDs, I would have no frustrations, I wouldn't have to expend the money on buying more games, I wouldn't have to spend the time playing more games. I could just hop on the thing. And you see that on Twitch streamers a lot too, is that they're just playing the same game over and over again while they're talking. And it's not really about the game. It's about them, because they have a fan base and their fan base likes them, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just they've managed to succeed to make themselves the product instead of the video game being the product, or the criticism of the video game being the product. But yeah, ideally you would want, the saying is no man is an island. Ideally you would want to become an island if you can. Be as independent as possible. Trusting other people is the #1 way to have your trust betrayed. Being paranoid and not trusting people guarantees that your trust won't be betrayed. Paranoia works. It doesn't work socially or make you very popular, but it works when you just don't want to get tricked. in all honesty, too, for Red Phoenix, his chatbot is probably, if I was to be so bold, it's probably not going to be a finished product that that gets sold and makes some money. It'll probably just be a portfolio builder and an experience builder for him, so he can go on to something else. And more than likely, he's gonna get hired if he's lucky, and I hope he is, to be a programmer somewhere, and they will tell him what they want him to program, and he'll probably end up programming something that he doesn't even really care about, but it will pay the bills and it will make him a much better programmer. And then over the years, as he becomes an experienced, learned programmer, he will be able to make something even better, even cooler, that he can't even imagine right now. There's so many projects that I did just because things came up, like, that I would have never even for a second thought was even something I would have wanted to do, and I did it. You really just never know where your life is going to take you. Like, if you had told me 5 years ago that I was going to be a YouTuber, I would have laughed. I may not have even known what YouTube was at that time. And also, if you had told me 5 years ago I should be a YouTuber, I would have like, I probably wouldn't have listened if somebody had told me to become a YouTuber 5 years ago, but I should have done it. It would have made my channel much more successful. Red Phoenix says, maybe when I'm finished the bot and if I figure out how to link it to YouTube, I'll give you a copy. Okay. If I can get... I love to fiddle with things and try out new things. That's where Nightbot certainly came about. Is that's what YouTube suggests as an Autobot moderator. Let's see. Shaman or Warlock victories. This is going to be difficult to get. And weapons. Let's see. If I played Shaman and Warlock, let's just get rid of this for a second. Is there anything even on Shaman that would have weapons? Okay, we'll try this. We'll try to make a Shaman deck full of weapons. And yes, there are tons of settings for you to play with. Yeah, says Red Phoenix. Yeah, that's what I tend to do, is screw around a lot with things and fidget, and it's inherently because I'm prone to distraction very easily, and so. But something new and shiny certainly interests me. See, I don't even think I have a very good overload deck to play. Nightbot right now is in beta, and it certainly could use Dim Skills is back. Wow. My user is Rydo, R-Y-D-O number 1423. But I'm on the European account right now, so if you're playing on the Americas account, I won't be able to accept until I switch back. What did I just make? I made a Shaman. So it's got to be this custom shaman I just made. But yeah, Nightbot specifically needs a chat back and forth just by default. It needs some more Easter eggs in it than what I put in it. Red Phoenix typed it into chat too for Dim Skills.
Thrall versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer. For the Frost Wolves.
I need to play 10 weapons and somehow get a victory. How can you do that with cards this bad? I need to get 5 victories, which means I'm gonna give up after I do 10 weapons. Let's just be honest. That's not gonna happen. That's something that should happen in offline post-game play.
Job's done.
I'm also doing a really bad job in my time management of listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos at the right time, and often I'm doing it at just the wrong time at the expense of when I could be recording videos. I haven't talked about it, but I recorded Downfall, which is the sequel to The Cat Lady. It's not as good as The Cat Lady. It really suffers. It's a weird sequel / prequel because it was the first. Because Downfall was made before The Cat Lady, and then it was remade. It was remade to look more like The Cat Lady, so it's both the first and the third game in the series now, which is an odd way to do things.
Elements guide me.
Just gonna play that. Just play the weapons. I'm gonna lose here. Dim Skills says he send me a friend request. I'll have to get back to the America's account to accept it. But I think we'll do that, yeah. This is off post-game play stuff, honestly. Just getting daily quests need to stop being things I focus on. That is the one thing about the Twitch extensions that potentially is interesting to me, is if it introduces new ideas to what a streamer can do and how they can interact with their fans. That's heavily needed. Right now there is a major problem with streamers kind of just having to ignore the chat. Like because they have too many chat, and right now I'm in a weird position where I don't have too many people in the chat so I can pay attention to them, but that could change really, really quickly. Let's just switch back. I'd rather play a fan any day than just do daily quests. So back to the Americas. So Dim Skills, have you unlocked all the characters? Because if you haven't, tell me what characters you need to unlock, and we'll see if we can. He's playing against the Innkeeper. See, if you're still playing against the Innkeeper, then I can't friend request you. So that's the thing, is you have to get past this Innkeeper's thing first. Don't you? Or is the Innkeeper also who you play against in the practice? Yeah, I think it might be who you play against in practice. See, Dim Skills, no, not yet, working on it. See, he just started a game here. And see, I'm not playing though. He's playing. But I think he can probably see where I'm hovering. Yeah, it seems like you've got a little bit of work to do. Tell me in the chat. Red Phoenix says the video's freezing for him. I hate my internet. Well, the good news is everybody else isn't suffering that. So yeah, I'm gonna switch over to the Asian account. Let me know if when you are out of playing against the innkeeper. That's if you can play standard play. That's all I need. Is if you can. Here, let's leave. If you can click play up here and play standard like this with your characters. Dim skills, how long am I gonna stay on? Probably, let's see. Probably at least another hour, I would say. I'll stay on another hour. So once you can do this point, I'll come back and then we can do a friendly standard duel, and I can play as any characters of the 9 characters you haven't played, beaten and unlocked. I can play as any of those and just immediately concede. And so if, for instance, you haven't unlocked a druid, I can just play as the druid, immediately concede, you'll unlock the druid. Then I can play as the paladin, immediately concede, and do that. And I can even help you a little bit, but I really can't get you all the way to rank 10 on anything. There's certain rewards, I think, for getting 100 victories, getting everything to rank 10, getting everything to rank 20. You want to get one character to rank 20 to get Tavern Brawls unlocked. That way, every time there's a Tavern Brawl, which is about once a week, you'll get a free card pack. That'll certainly help you move around. Somebody messaged me. How did that work? How did somebody message me? Seems like they've changed their system again. Switch over to the Asian account though. At the very least, I need one daily quest done before I settle in for the long haul of getting some other daily quests, because it is possible, instead of doing pre-recorded videos, which I should do tomorrow, I could get lazy and just play Hearthstone. There's certainly a lot of Hearthstone to play at the beginning of this. Hey, I did get a frozen pack. This pack was added to your account from outside the game. So I didn't think I was going to get that. 100 damage to an enemy heroes, 5 Tavern Brawls. Ew. Ugh. 5 Druid and Rogue. Let's see if we can get those. Getting new card packs is the lifeblood of a new account. It also helps quite a bit, frankly, for old accounts too, like my US account, but frankly I need to probably buy like 200 card packs. It kind of sucks Blizzard doesn't have a way of gifting card packs to people, because that would certainly probably satisfy a lot of my fans. Is that if they wanted to see card pack openings, they could send me the card packs, and then that would be a lot less of an expense on my case. Let's see, Druid or Rogue are what we're trying to do, and 5 Tavern Brawls. So this, if I edit this, we need to make, I would say, a Rogue deck. Because this is the Tavern Brawl where things cost, spells cost, let's see, spells cost health. So combo cards make sense. That. Let's see. This. Give your weapon lifesteal, sap. Deal 1 damage, draw a card. This. If I can find a bunch of death rattle cards, I think this might actually be a good one to play. Weapons don't deteriorate. A lot of Knights of the Frozen Throne cards. Let's see. So Death Rattle now is all I think I want. Let's see what we can build. Do I have the card that doubles Death Rattles? No, I don't. That's a shame. Is that because this is a standard deck? I need 2 more cards and they can't be Death Rattle cards, so let's instead I got a lot of spells, we'll take that. There we go. And let's see if this works. Blood Magic Standard. So it was a standard deck you had to build. More and more they're going to push you into this into playing standard. Or it's also possible I just don't have any wild cards.
I
must protect the wild.
Watch your back.
So the spells cost health, which means this will work really well.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
And we want to play a bunch of... do damage to the face. We want to win 5 games and that should get everything. Yeah, I don't have to play any specific cards or anything. Yeah, if you had Ultimate Infestation, that would be a great card to play right now. See, that just drew a bunch of spells for him as a druid.
Behold the rage of the Firelands. Time waits for no one.
And he has 2 mana. Dim skills, I need 6 more. You need 6 more characters to unlock. Like, after this game I can switch back, but this is going to take a while. So maybe you probably have enough time to play another game.
Here we go.
So I sent everything back on him and ruined his gameplay. And since he only actually has 2 mana, But whereas my spell here cost no health to kill. And this, I can just do that. I could destroy a minion, but there's no real reason to. We'll wait till he can actually play something interesting and then we'll destroy it.
Behold the rage of the fire.
So maybe I'll destroy him. But the more spells he plays, the more his health goes down.
The land serves me.
And see, I want to be cautious to say I've got this victory because there's still a chance. There's always a chance. If I play this, it would cost me 5. Is there any reason to destroy this guy? I'm gonna do it.
Here we go.
And that's 7, 11, I have 7 extra health. If he can do 7 extra damage, I've lost.
I concede.
There we go. And for a brand new account to succeed that, well, I got really lucky. However, that's only one of each of the victories and a small amount of Tavern Brawl damage. Let's switch back. We're doing a lot of switching back and forth. I know. Apologies to the audience. Let's see if we can do this. Dim skills. If you're playing against the innkeeper, concede. Will you? Click that button and just concede. If you're playing against somebody else, I wouldn't say that. I don't even see you online. That's online a minute ago. Did he call the night? Or is this just the internet? Red Phoenix saying I'm still here? Where are you, dim skills? Where are you? We're here. The system is so awful with the multiple accounts, switching back and forth, not seeing people when they are online half the time. It's like, alright, I'm gonna look at the counter on my clock, and I'm gonna give it 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And if Dim Skills does not appear to be online, I'm gonna have to just assume that he's gone to bed and back to the Asia account. And what a weird way. Like, what a waste of content, yeah. Like, for my attempts to be nice to the fans, I'm also potentially irritating other fans who are watching. I'm sure Red Phoenix, while being kind and too kind to say so, is not going to enjoy the idea of me sitting here for 3.5 minutes and not doing anything. We have somebody new on there. Would you play League with me? I don't play League. And I know for a fact that League of Legends is one of those really long MOBA games that I don't have any time for. So on questions about League, the answer is no. As far as playing other games with other people, the answer is probably also no, because I'm only live streaming Hearthstone right now, and I don't have time to live stream a second game. That's just not realistic at all. Sorry, but that's just too much of a demand on my time. Also, there's an issue where, like, I've made videos on Heroes of the Storm and and then I didn't really play Heroes of the Storm, and then people put comments and like, how does this work? How do you do that? And I'm like, I just did a Heroes of the Storm video because you got something because you played Hearthstone, and so I then entered this realm and a conversation I wasn't fully educated to speak on. So if I jumped into League and then jumped out, I would be paying for it for the rest of my life because people would be asking me questions about League. Darian, I will totally play Hearthstone with you. I'll play Hearthstone with anybody. If you want to send me a friend request, RYDO number 1423, I will play you that. Hearthstone, no problem. New games. I would probably be a horrible League player too. I'm not. My actions per minute are low. My fingers don't quite work as well as they used to, and I have a little bit of arthritis that sometimes flares up. It's been pretty good in the past couple of years, though. It was getting really bad a few years ago, but I've not used it a lot. Okay, so Darian 1083, are you on the Americas account? And are you going to send me a friend request on the Americas account? Because the time is up for Dim Skills. I assume he's gone to bed, and that means I'll catch up with him later. Like, I'm willing to help, but I also can't derail my entire channel and stream waiting for one person. Are you going to send me a friend request, Darian? Then I'm on the Americas account right now, waiting for it to go through. I could try, I suppose, to see if his YouTube name is his Battle.net name. There he is. And it isn't. So that wouldn't have worked anyways. So what's your situation, Darian? Have you gotten all the daily quests done? Have you unlocked all the characters? Are we gonna just play normal, or he's battling the Lich King right now? Red Phoenix says, I like sandbox style games because they are normally slower paced. Depending on the sandbox style game, I would say there's certainly some that are faster paced, particularly if you speed them up. Like, in some senses, real-time strategies came from sandbox style games, but I imagine you mean something closer to like City Skylines or SimCity, which I'm personally a little ambivalent on them. A lot of times they don't play well on PC because for me because my TV's so far away I can't read all the text, and there's a lot of micromanaging, and clearly I'm not good at micromanaging things. One can assume that if he's able to get to the Lich King, then Darian is further along than than a brand new player, because brand new players wouldn't be able to get to Lich King. So let's see. Let's do something interesting here. Was that a standard challenge I gave him? Let's try this. You should do some Minecraft to get more views. I did do a bunch of Minecraft videos. I haven't done any lately, but there are several Minecraft videos I did cover, mostly puzzle things. I'm not big into the parkour thing. I'm not into the group things. I'm not into the fighting things or the survival things. I like to watch the other Minecrafters that are doing Sky Factory, but Sky Factory only kind of works if you have two people collaborating it, so you can work back and forth between the two people, and one can be the student and one can be the teacher, and then you can switch roles and have the other streamer teach something new and do all that. Sky Factory is really crazy too, because it adds so much that just basic Minecraft doesn't have. Basic Minecraft does have a lot these days. They've certainly added a lot, but it's hard to keep people's attention. But yeah, I still like Minecraft. I don't have time for it though. Minecraft is just like Hearthstone, where if you're going to make a channel about Minecraft, you're only going to do Minecraft. You're always going to do Minecraft. You're going to struggle to find Minecraft. Or Phoenix says, I could be the second Sky Factory person. No, you couldn't, because your internet sucks. Remember? And you have a job. And I would take up all of your time in the wrong times. Insomnia makes it impossible for me to collab with anybody. I just need to admit it. No collabs ever. It's not going to happen. And until I find somebody else who stays up between the hours of 10 p.m. Central to 6 a.m. Central Time in the United States every night, and they can really make their life work that way, like, collabing for me is not going to happen.
What is real?
Yeah, but Fink says, oh yeah, very true. Yeah.
Job's done.
Yeah, nothing has really grabbed my attention as far as Minecraft in a while, because there haven't been any really, like, new features that could be done in a new puzzle map. They added that whole new mansion with the butler characters in that are like hidden deep in forest, and I would have thought there would have been an adventure map based around that, and I really haven't seen anything. While Minecraft is very popular still with fans of Minecraft, it's not, I don't think, that popular with just general kids, and it was the rush of the obsessive kids that were really pushing Minecrafters to the top. There's a YouTuber, and I barely even want to call him a YouTuber. He's like a YouTuber slash Twitch streamer called OMG Chad, that for a while there felt like he was on the path of being like one of the biggest streamers ever, and he just didn't put in the effort, and Minecraft kind of fizzled out of being the most popular thing ever, and now he just kind of puts out kind of very repetitive, clickbaity sort of how to set up Minecraft on your phone, or how to do very simplistic tutorial things. And it's really sad, because I thought he was going to majorly succeed. He was part of this whole group that was growing in attention. what were they called? Mindcrack. There was this big group of YouTubers doing Minecraft called Mindcrack, and then they were getting really big, and then the person that was kind of running the show changed how things were going and the direction they were going, and they kind of split up, and now almost all the people that are streaming on that were Minecraft streamers are just like
Come midnight.
not interesting me. Yeah, to me, Minecraft really feels like it was a big thing then, and it will be big when they put out a new expansion for a little while, but it will never be as big as it used to be. Dim Skills is back. Dim Skills, I waited like 3 minutes for you. If you're online after this game, I'll try and play you. But we were all sitting here waiting. And see, this is also going to be an issue, is if people's internet is bad and it just goes down. I didn't know people's internet was as bad as it sounds like some people's are. Tragic Master says, wow, woot. And Dim Skill says, I was eating. I want to quote like Death Note here and say you play Hearthstone with your right hand and you eat a potato chip with your left hand. But I wouldn't be quoting it right. I've done that where I've been eating and I play Clash of Clans on my phone just for, I have really no reason to be playing Clash of Clans, but it's a good enough game, I find, to distract me. So I'll literally be eating and playing Clash of Clans at the same time, just trying to optimize my time. Of course, I'm joking, of course. Normal people, a lot of people don't get away with playing video games at the table. Particularly if they have friends or family they're eating with that they should be giving their attention to. It's always very annoying for people to be playing on their phone when you're actually trying to have a meal or face-to-face social interaction. Oops. Darn it, missed it. It would be nice if when you clicked enter and it went like 3, 2, 1 and you could cancel, but even a 3, 2, 1 count would just make the game longer. And clearly that was my fault. I just didn't play correctly, which I often do because I'm not paying enough attention.
The dragons shall kneel before me. Warriors of the frozen wastes.
Well played.
See if I can make it another turn. This doomed pack would be interesting. How many cards does he have left? 7 cards.
Well played.
Alright, dim skills. Are you there for real? Alright. You're playing against the innkeeper. Dim skills. In an effort to save time, if you would be so kind to click the menu button here and click the concede button here and let me challenge you. We can do this a lot quicker and it won't hurt your ranking any since you're just playing against the innkeeper anyways. Click that concede button. Click that concede button. There's a little bit of a delay, so we'll see if he actually does it. Because right now he's playing against the warrior, which tells me he needs to unlock the warrior. And in the time it would take him to struggle to beat him, which he probably would beat him, it'll take about... I can just challenge him as the warrior, concede immediately, and unlock the warrior for him. And it will take no more than 2 minutes for the whole thing. Which really is just more of the stupidity of the initial onboarding that you have to go through for this game, where they force you to beat each character before you can play as it. In general, the idea kind of makes sense. You have to beat somebody before you can play them, but in actuality, since Hearthstone's such a social game, it makes no sense at all to limit the player. What a new player should be able to do is the second they make an account and launch Hearthstone, they should be able to send friend requests, get friend requests, and play their friends. It's really that simple and that easy. Really that simple and that easy. And then doing all of the first few tutorial things should be skippable at the very least. It's like, are you do you want to play the tutorial, or do you just want to hop into a game? And making you play like 7 tutorial games to learn things just doesn't make sense. Why not just have one very better scripted battle as the first tutorial mission, and it teaches you things. What I would probably do if I was doing it is I would write each of the 9 enemies with just 1 health, and then the first thing you would do is you'd have a 1/1 character on the field and ready to attack, and you tutorial like this. These are your minions. Darian asks, do I know the best way to defeat the Lich King? My Shaman Murloc deck beat him very easily, and for most of what I'm hearing, the Murlocs work for most of the characters. Now, for some of the characters, however, he doesn't work. And there's a PC Gamer article that points to several budget decks to beat the Lich King with the other characters. However, I've only gotten 4 out of the 9 characters beaten. So there's still a lot of work I need to do. It's just I really don't want to spend too much extra time on it. I'm kind of waiting to see if maybe there would be a day I get a cold or something and can't do anything else, and then I just play against the Lich King. It's hard to even justify playing the Lich King, though, to get that Arathis character frame when you could be doing so much more. You could be doing better things right now with the new month. You could just be playing ranked and trying to get up to rank, which is what I'm trying to do, or want to do. Seems like he's gonna play. Seems like get him skills here, or dim skills on the chat. Is gonna be play it all the way through. Well, he's gonna lose in about 2 turns anyways.
Me and Mr. Fighty.
We have a new person on the chat saying hi. Hi. I honestly don't feel like what you get for the time you put into beating the Lich King 9 times is really appealing to me at all. Just because Blizzard values a face at $10 doesn't mean I value it at $10. I probably won't even use the Arathis face because it just won't look like whoever it's supposed to replace. Does it replace? I don't even know. Is it a paladin, priest? Does it replace them all? I'm not sure.
Get behind me.
Tragic Master asked me, "Play me after?" Question mark. I'm trying to give Dim Skills all the benefit of the doubt, but he is taking a lot of the stream's time now. He's struggling here for a game he's not going to win. It's just not going to happen. His cards aren't good. They're very brand new basic cards. And he just didn't get a good luck of the draw. And I'm trying to help him. But after I help him, then yeah. Dim skills. Get out of there and send me a friend request. Don't look into solo adventure. Tragic Master, your opportunity you may be moved up in line really quick here. It's also that you have to have a perfect starting hand to defeat the Lich King with some classes. That is certainly true. Alright, dim skills. Accept this. And you were going against the warrior, was it? So, let's see. We'll start here. What dim skills in the chat? What are the ones you don't have? I saw you play as a shaman, so I know you have shaman. This real quick because, like, good luck to both. Well, this is going to be really easy on him because I'm just going to concede to unlock the characters for him. And I can only do that with the decks that I... There we go. So that should have unlocked that one for him. Like I said, it was only going to take 2 minutes. And let's just see if he's got the druid. And then we'll do rogue and beasts. And then if there's any more characters, I need to make a deck for him to help. But I can do that really quickly for anything he needs to unlock. And let me know if for some reason that didn't work, but that should have worked. Unfortunately, right now, that's kind of all I can do other than play Druid Helper. Well, he didn't cancel it. Alright, Tragic Master, send me help. There's a lack of communication happening here with Dim Skills. Like, I'm trying to help him, but probably because he's new to the game, he doesn't realize that I'm trying to, or maybe I'm not. Maybe that he had already gotten that one, or maybe he just wanted to really play me. And so maybe we'll get back to them and maybe we won't. Let's play this death deck. Why not? How do you have so much gold? I right now don't have that much gold. I had a lot more before I bought like 100 packs when the last expansion happened. I do the daily quests, and every day I look at the daily quests, I trade them out. So if you have a 40 or 50, you can trade those out for a 60, 80, or 100. Or maybe you'd get a 40 or 50. So if I see a daily quest that's 40 or 50, I click the X, trade it out, hopefully get something better. Then I struggle and spend most of my focus. Let's see. I have Shaman, Hunter, and Jaina, says Dim Skills. Okay, so I was playing as the warrior just then, and I conceded to you, so that should have unlocked the warrior. Can you confirm that? Yeah, every day I come in, I look at the daily quest. Every 3 days I live stream and I get them. But it's kind of hard. I'm listening to you and playing Hearthstone on a Chromebook. Okay, that's probably part of the reason here. If you have the Shaman, which I saw you had, Hunter, and the Mage, which is Jaina, then I can make the other decks and play you real quick and concede, and that's kind of all I can do. I could play you with the Druid Hunter on whichever character is the furthest along, but I don't have time right now to get you all the way to rank 10 or rank 20, and rank 10 is probably going to take you about 12 games to play, and rank 20 will probably take you another 20 games on top of that. Oh, so Arathis replaces the Paladin, apparently. I guess that makes sense. Or, it's not Arathis, it's Arthas. I'm mispronouncing him. His name. And my Hearthstone deck tracker's messed up a little bit.
No look save. I'm in charge now. Aye.
Job done.
And I have Patches the Pirate because of Prince Malchazar.
The end is coming! Reporting for duty.
There we go. And see, I don't think you can even buy gold. Like, a lot of people ask, how do I have so much gold? And it's probably, and it's almost certainly because people just don't do all the daily quests that you could possibly do. I probably have close to the maximum amount of gold that anybody in a similar situation as me would have. Like, because you can't go to the store and buy more gold. You can go to the store and buy more packs. And if you bought more packs and you had a bunch of extra cards, you could turn them into dust. And the way this 3 economy system works is it takes your real world money, it turns it into packs, and then the packs get turned into dust. And the cards can be made from dust too. Dust is much more valuable, that's why you get less of it for things, but arguably the real world money just staying in your pocket is probably the best thing to do, but that would be no fun. We have somebody new on the chat. I need to increase the size of my chat. Every time I look at the new YouTube beta studio for the creators of YouTube, it requires me to zoom out to like 60% resolution to fit it on the screen. Adhita. That's an interesting name. Says hi. Hello. That's a very interesting name. I haven't heard anybody with a name like that.
Reporting for duty. In the best shape of my life.
Did I hear all of Arthas's things? Tragic. Before we end here, go through all of his things. Let's hear his shout-outs.
You have my gratitude. Holy light! A misstep. You which path to choose? Hail and well met. Well played.
Thank you, Tragic. That's interesting. I like his voice. He may be better than the default Paladin guy. Who gets turned into the Lich King canonically in World of Warcraft? Because it's pretty obvious that that in this card game, whoever defeats him becomes the new Lich King. But in World of Warcraft, who defeated him and who became the new Lich King? Or did World of Warcraft somehow not do it that way? I have no idea because I've never played World of Warcraft. This lifesteal card is going to be problematic. Let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12. Can he do 5 more damage? Let's not risk it. Of course, I would need to pull out some kind of spell or I'm gonna lose here. He's playing good control. Like, I would need a spell to do about 5 damage, 4 damage. And I'm not sure I have something like that in this deck. Well, that's certainly not going to work. If I could get Skalog on the field and then trigger his Death Rattle, I could get a Thaddeus. Maybe I could survive enough to do damage from that. I've only got a couple more
I have no time for games.
turns, maybe one more turn. This is a well played situation, certainly. Let's see how long did I say I was gonna be on? About an hour, maybe 40 minutes ago. I'm thinking it's time to start thinking about wrapping up. I've got a lot of daily quests on the Asian account that I'm just gonna do off screen. I think just we've gone long enough. One of the other issues is as these go longer and longer, it fills up my hard drive more and more, and I'm running out of space to not deal with live streams. Alright, dim skills. We gonna try this again? Good game, says Tragic Master. Good game. Let's see. Alright. You're trying to beat... He's playing as the warrior, so he's got that now. You're trying to beat the priest. If dim skills sees this message, concedes, sends me a friend request, I can just play as the priest and concede like I did before and give it to him if that's what he wants. Let's see, we just need a priest in this, and which means I need to get rid of something. What is this Hunter Day that I was playing? This is the one I was using for the Lich King, so I don't want to get rid of that. And I guess we'll get rid of the discard Warlock. I don't think I really need that for much of anything right now, and it's probably not that good of a deck anyways. So, priest. Choose this. Choose this. Standard. Fill it in as quickly as possible. You know what you can do? I can just do this. I don't even have to do that myself. There we go. So there's a priest. I can fight and concede. I don't believe he has the rogue. I can fight and concede with that one. And the druid I can fight and concede with that one. And then I need to make a warlock deck, which I can do really quick.
The light shall bring victory.
So just don't leave the challenge after I concede. Dim skills. So just concede there. It's so ridiculous that people have to struggle at the beginning just to be able to play the characters. There we go. Just pick whatever deck you want, just quickly, as quickly as possible. Cancel the challenge. Alright, well, like I said, a lack of communication, a lack of cooperation, like something he's not getting, apparently. But he is new to the game too. So Maybe he just doesn't know which buttons to press or not press.
Valera versus Rexar.
Let the hunt begin.
Watch your
I should be able to even concede here, and it should unlock the characters. And see, if he was a little bit further, I would play him on the Druid Helper and get him higher up on the levels. But he needs to, new players need to take about a week and get everything, learn how to actually play the game by playing other people. And Red Phoenix is complaining about his internet again. And get up to rank 10 probably on their own, just playing real standard rank. Like Warlock, and so you start with Mage, so you don't ever have to do that. So
I can see.
now I need to make a Warlock deck, and I think that's might be all he needs. Let's see, is this really entertaining to do this? Not really, but whatever. New standard deck. Like, he's got Warrior, Shaman, Rogue. Maybe he doesn't have Paladin. That might be the only other one. Yeah. Let me go back and look in the chat. Yeah, he doesn't have Paladin. So we'll do this Warlock. Same thing. And this should be really working. The irony here would be if I'm doing all of this and spending effort and time and it's not actually working, and people are just scratching their head going, what are you doing?
Gul'dan versus Anduin.
But see, there's his priest
The light shall
that
bring
he
victory.
I don't think had before.
This time.
So one more Paladin. Darian, how late are you going tonight? I'm gonna wrap up pretty much in a couple minutes. So if you want to play me, let me know, but I'll be back in 3 days too. So certainly could play in 3 days or whenever you next see me on stream. Just make sure you're subscribed and you have that notification bell clicked, and you'll see when I go live. Probably. YouTube is wonky and sometimes doesn't tell people when I'm live, even if they are subscribed. But also you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook and all of that, and if you're on those, you'll get another backup way of knowing. So I'll certainly be willing to play in 3 days again. But we've been going pretty late, and we started late already, so yeah. I think this is probably going to be it. So Darian, if you do want to play me again, I know you've already played me once. Everybody's played me several times today, and eventually I might have to implement, like, you get 1 game per day per 3 days, something like that.
With honor. The victory is yours.
Alright, so now Dim Skills should have all the characters. Let me know in the chat, Dim Skills, if you didn't. You should have everything unlocked, and because of that, you should potentially have also gotten a extra reward of some sort. And I'm gonna look on the timer, and I'm going to, I guess we'll try the Lich King. And we'll try the Lich King one time here, just to give Dim Skills opportunity to choose, but then that's going to be the end of it. Red Phoenix says,
Are we really so different, you and I?
there we go. Well, he started, so, and it's late, so I don't really need to do this. Red Phoenix says, okay, bye guys, see you next stream. Thanks for chatting and watching, Red Phoenix. Dim Skills, thanks for helping me. I did. You're welcome, Dim Skills. Now, I would say take about a week. The other thing you want to do is come in here, go into crafting mode when you have about 40 dust, go to all cards, find a card that is like this wisp, probably. That'd be about the right one for you. Craft this with 40 dust, and no, I need a wild card, not the wisp. Let's see. How do you do this? Do you type in is wild? Let's see. How do we find just wild cards? Let's see. Come over here to Goblins versus Gnomes. That'll work, yeah. Craft this, the target dummy, with dust. No, can't do that one. That's too expensive. Craft this one. Clockwork Gnome. When you have a wild card, and it's wild because of these things, if you have one of those, you can play people in wild. Then once you have that, once you have one wild card in your collection, you can play people in wild. It's very, very helpful for new players to have the ability to, when you challenge people, click here and do a wild duel instead of a standard duel. Because for me in particular, like over half of my decks are wild decks, and I can't play any of those. Now I keep my Druid Helper deck as a standard deck to be helpful to new players, but if you want to see or play against me against my better collection of cards, having that one wild for 40 dust is worth it. Also, as new players, you're not in a terrible position to play Arena right now. Playing Arena will give you cards you don't have, let you play them, let you learn them. You're probably going to just go 3 losses immediately, but you'll get a card pack for it anyways. So instead of paying 150 gold instead of paying 100 gold to get a card pack, you'll pay 150 gold to play Arena and potentially get a little bit more than just a card pack. You're guaranteed a card pack. And then, of course, work your way up to rank 20 so you can do Tavern Brawls and get a free card pack. Now, a lot of extra work that is necessary. Ranked play, try to get to rank play rank 20 before the end of the month, because that'll get you a card back art thing. Darian asks, are you going to be playing during the 3 days off the stream? Probably, but not against other people. If I'm not streaming, I'm not going to accept friend requests, because if I'm playing off stream, I'm either trying to get daily quests done that I didn't get done during the stream, like I did in this case. There's many Asian account things that I didn't get done, or I'm trying to play ranked play and actually get up in ranked, and I don't make really any progress at all when I'm talking and trying to entertain people, and my focus is too split. So if I do, Dim Skills, were you ever in a championship of Hearthstone? No, I'm not even that good. I've just been playing for a long time, and I've learned things, and I'm trying to be as helpful to new players to keep the new players in and interested. A lot of people start and then they get bored of it and they leave, and that's not good for the game in general. But no, I don't put in enough time to do it professionally or anything. Although I guess technically I am a professional because it's part of my job to play Hearthstone, or I've made it part of my job. But no, I'm not. I've never gotten to ranked 1 legendary, and when you get to rank 1 legendary, you start playing against the real pros, and you have a legendary rank, which is confusing. So you get to level 1, and then after level 1, you go to a whole second set where you're legendary, and then you have this legendary number, and the best player in the world is legendary number 1. The second best player in the world is legendary number 2. And even some of the pros that you see streaming often stop at like legendary 400 or 500. And it's very, very different. Darian says, are you going to make a Discord for your subs? I already have a Discord for the subs. But I don't know if I'm going to keep it, to be honest. Let's see. I don't even have Discord open. The thing with Discord is it doesn't help my channel one bit for people to chat through Discord when I'm streaming. So, like, here's the Discord link again, but I just don't know how the system's supposed to work, or if it's going to really work with my channel. Like, there's a Discord thing, subs can get on it, they can talk amongst themselves. I haven't seen a lot of people get on it or do anything like interesting there, so people will keep asking me about Discord, but then I don't see anybody using Discord, and that doesn't really motivate me to use Discord. Dim Skills, what about Skype? No, the Discord is just for the chat part. If people try to call me through Discord, or I don't even know how it works, I'm not going to answer. I'm going to block it, and I'm probably going to delete the account. And definitely not Skype, because Skype is not safe and it doesn't really work. And frankly, it's just too much of a hassle to do all the setup to have somebody get on here and talk, and then their audio sounds bad and they've got a lot of background noise, or maybe they just get on here and they troll and they scream out obscenities, and it's just a ton of work. So I'm trying to give Discord a fair shake. There's a new person named Xantosh that says hello. You've come at the wrong time, unfortunately, because we're wrapping up here. I'm trying to give Discord a fair shake, but I'm not seeing people chatting there. It seems like it's got this flaw on Discord where everybody wants everybody else to come to their chat system, and it doesn't really. It doesn't really help people communicate, because everybody is just trying to bring people into different chats, and I've yet to see a lot of chatting happening in my chat, so I don't know how it's supposed to work. I wish Discord was integrated into the YouTube chat, then it would work perfectly fine. If people were typing in Discord right now and they automatically just copied over to YouTube and back and vice versa, then that would be great. Santosh says, wow. You can always rewind. There's several hours in the stream, so just rewind it back to the beginning. Xantosh or anybody else that's just coming online. There certainly is something about YouTube, just the longer you go live, the more people get notified about it. So, like, if I was just trying to manipulate the system, I would have Hearthstone streaming 24/7 and try to get as many viewers as possible. That's certainly how some of the top live stream channels work. Red Phoenix says, I thought you were going to end half an hour ago. Oh man, am I half an hour late? Probably. Time doesn't mean that much to me. I'm not that accurate on it usually. But I am going to end it now. So that's it for the stream. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, all of those links are down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.